If you've ever seen a product or an offer that you know that you don't really need, but you still go ahead, add it to your cart, and possibly even purchase it, then there's a good chance that there were some powerful psychological principles, or what we call cognitive biases, helping your decision making and helping you take that action to become a customer. Our behavior is not random. There's always some psychology behind every action, and your actions were likely influenced by powerful psychological strategies that were baked into the website. And having spent nearly 10 years optimizing Shopify stores for top brands, I can tell you this. The best performing sites, they don't just look pretty. They have a reason for doing the things that they're doing on the site. They are designed for our brains to take the decisions and actions that are beneficial for the store owner. So today, I'm breaking down 5 powerful psychological principles that the smartest e-commerce brands and store owners use to turn those clicks into customers, and how you can use them to make your store more persuasive and profitable using cognitive biases to your advantage. Everything here is based on psychology, which is a science. These are not just some random tricks. They're shortcuts for our brains to take actions so that the brain can save energy and to make more decisions. And in the world of e-commerce, where the attention spans are so small, these can make a huge difference. With these principles, you as a merchant will be able to better understand and align with how people think, feel, and act to then get them to take the actions that are most beneficial to you. And this is also why understanding cognitive biases is not something that's optional. It is actually mandatory, because you are competing with other stores, and if other users this well, you're going to be left behind, and you won't be able to compete in the competitive marketplace. And this doesn't have to be some kind of really dark pattern manipulative behavior, because cognitive biases also does reduce friction and make the shopping experience more effortless. And as a result, you're actually serving your visitors. Throughout the video, I will trickle in examples from my nearly a decade of experience in e-commerce optimization and make this video very practical for you. So let's dive into the biases. First up, we have urgency and scarcity. This is what you could call the act now effect. And when something feels limited, it can be limited either by quantity or time, our brains shift into decision mode, because now we actually have to make a decision rather than postpone it. And because of this, things like urgency timers and stock quantity have been powerful in the past, at least. Of course, any tactic can be overused, and it may not be a suitable fit for all brands, but we've seen this work because of this bias. So this bias taps into both the scarcity and loss aversion. It's that fear of missing out on the game, and this fear mixed with that potential future regret of why didn't I buy it? And often it's easier to live with that reality of I bought something that wasn't the best thing, but at least I didn't miss out on it. So if you are a smart brand and use this subtly, you can nudge some shoppers from passive scrolling to actually taking action. And here, it's not about the pressure necessarily, it's about creating a bit of momentum there. Scarcity and urgency is not something that will turn a no visitor into a yes buyer, but rather it is something that can help with that middle 70% maybe customers that are actually evaluating. Then moving on to point number 2, social proof or social validation. This is the everyone else is doing it effect, so it is also safe for me to do this. People are herd animals. We like what's proven by others, so we don't really stick out or stand out too much. So because we love following the crowd, going with the herd, things like social proof, such as reviews, testimonials, etc., they can work so well. That's why just about every offer you launch, you should work on your social proof and get that dialed in first before you go big time. Because nobody wants to be the first person trying in a new offer or product. Rather, they want to feel like they are joining some kind of a tribe, some kind of a group of individuals where it is safer to be there rather than standing alone. Next, we have the framing and anchoring effect. This is that's a steal kind of feeling. And here is all about the presentation. So a product can be listed, for example, on sale at 89 euros, and the original price is crossed out at the 129, for example. And as a result, you are anchored to the 129 price. And because of that, you're more likely to then go ahead and purchase. Compared to just having it at 89, it feels like it's a bit more expensive now because you don't have the comparison anymore. So this is the anchoring bias in action. And how the offer is framed, of course, matters too. So you can use things like price comparisons, bundles, or even deco pricing to subtly manipulate that perception to help the buyer. Next up, as number 4, we have commitment and consistency, or the commitment momentum. This is the I'm already in effect, utilizing people's inherent need to finish actions that they have started. So once someone takes a small step, this can be something like answering a quiz, signing up for a discount, or customizing the product, they're just more likely to follow through because they don't want that effort to go to waste. And it's psychologically rewarding to complete something that you've started. A good little example of this is the Shopify checkout that has a little progress section, and that's based on this principle. Now, once you use this, you can make this even more powerful by combining it with the endowment effect. So this is the effect where we place more value on things that we've already earned or built. And because of this, you can use things like progress bars, cart reminders, or these kinds of emails where it says continue where you left off. And the goal here is to keep that forward momentum alive, keep it so that people feel like they have actually invested into it, that they have started. And the reward there is also a rewarding experience because now you exerted some effort to get there. Then last but certainly not least, we have the defaults and smart nudges. So as covered before, people are hesitators, most of them, and they feel more comfortable if you make it really clear what the next thing should be. So this combines the comfort with the accessibility to create this easy win effect. So when in doubt, people will choose the easiest option, the option of least resistance. That's our default bias, and it's very powerful because if something is pre-selected, for example, or made into a big action, then people are more likely to do it than not do it. This can often be combined with things like social proof. So if you, for example, add a most popular badge, then that becomes the default choice. That is now social proofed. And even better if you, for example, combine this with things like decode pricing. So you can add an expensive plan that makes the mid-tier look like a deal. And then suddenly your customers, they feel like they're making a smart, confident choice. So these are the 5 priorities or 5 principles. One thing to keep in mind here is that there's this old saying that for you to achieve your goal, the customer must first achieve theirs. So you can shove all of this to your page, but if the customer doesn't want it, they're not going to move on to wanting it. So this is much more about guiding them than forcing them and making the right decision feel like an easy one with this. So think of it in terms of you providing with like some tailwind so that they'll have an easier time cruising. So to recap, the 5 categories are urgency and scarcity, social proof, framing and anchoring, commitment momentum, and then lastly, defaults and smart nudges. And together they tap into this natural human behavior. And when used responsibly, they don't just boost conversions, but they create a smoother, more satisfying shopping experiences overall and helps subtly nudge that visitor into becoming a buyer. So there you have it. If you are already running a store, getting at least 50,000 visitors monthly, and wish to let us help you grow your store further with conversion optimization, you can book a call by clicking the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.